Welcome back to Vice Grip Lodge in part 2 of our barn build. It's a big week. Material has arrived, which means wood's going up, and hopefully by the end of the week, this building should be tinned or at least have a roof on it. The building package has arrived. We've got to get all this unloaded. It's a lot of wood. I think we devised a plan to set it up back by these trees here, kind of along this edge. I don't need to get back through this gate for quite some time yet. So I'm gonna come here with a little box behind the tiny John Deere, smooth some of this stuff out, and then he can start forking it off. There, this is a lot better. Only took a few minutes. Yeah, and got a lot of those big rocks. The ankle breakers. You can't be snapping up these guys. So now he'll get it stacked in here. I just didn't want the guys tripping over rocks and stuff, running back and forth picking up material. So this should be a lot better. Not quite sure if he's gonna line the fence here or what he's gonna do. Got three-wheel motion. Got us a wheel off the ground. So obviously, like I said, we're trying to save as much money as we can on this barn. And we're just going with plain old wood trusses. We're not doing the fancy metal ones. They're not even really fancy, but obviously the metal ones in the other barn, they're more money. You have to custom order them. They're harder to get. This one, we just want a roof over our head. So we're just going with plain Jane trusses. These are just spec sizes. They have them in stock basically. So then we got a whole bunch of 2x4s here. Those are going to be for the sides or the sheds off the sides. The center is going to be about 3 feet higher, give or take. I should draw this up for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, but most of the material, I think all the lumber's coming, and then next week we'll get some more of the metal on the way. A lot of this extra material from grading I just threw behind this retaining wall because we got to fill this in anyway and put a big swale in here. So I just started putting a lot of that right back in here. Guy operating is really nice, and he said, I was just watching one of your videos. And he said, you know what's cooler than meeting you? And I said, what's that? And he goes, watching you save money doing your own dirt work with the tiny little box. I said, well, gotta help and save money where we can. He's got probably 3 or 4 more loads to do, and then we should have all this stuff dumped off here. Excited to get some sticks going up. Weather's turned on us really fast. Hopefully we can get some of this stuff under cover soon. Well, that feller has all the material unloaded, and crew showed up unexpectedly. Actually, they were really on top of it and threw some tarps over some of the more important material, or anything that's not green treated basically. Brought out a skid steer, started moving stuff around. We're prepping for some big storms. Supposed to have rain on and off for a few days, and they came out and started setting up where the posts are going to go. It is a muddy mess out here, as you guys can see. But here's our post configuration. And a lot of you might be wondering, why didn't you set the posts in the ground or go through the concrete to set them up, and why are we doing it this way? Well, I'm new to this area of the country. You know, that's certainly what we do up north, but you got to go really deep with the concrete because we have frost heaving and different frost lines. Frost goes much deeper than down south, if you even get any frost down here. But I learned in the old barn, based on when we bought this property before we put the addition on, when we did some excavating and started doing the addition, we could see that the posts that were set in the ground were rotting, even though they were green treated. There's a lot of water and moisture, at least on my property, that really eats these things away. So this particular design, after going back and forth with the engineer or the designer, we decided, let's get the posts above the concrete, keep the wood out of the ground, and we're going for longevity. Because someday, my kids are gonna have this. And I don't want them to be cussing up a storm when I'm 84 years old going, Dad, why didn't you just put the posts on the... I gotta push the barn down. You know what I mean? I watched my childhood barn fall to the ground, and it makes a bigger impact on a feller's heart bone than you would expect. So we're going this route. Now, this spacing may change. I may change the inside post every 21 feet. I need to talk to the engineer that does the load ratings and all of that stuff and try to get more room, because I had hoped to put a car on dollies and be able to slide them in and out of the side garages. Even though we have 3 doors, I may move some stuff around back here. And wouldn't it be nice, well, I'll show you. Wouldn't it be nice, for example, if this one wasn't here, so a guy could just slide a car in like that? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Now that we got moisture, these cracks are starting to show up a lot more. Happens. Is what it is. But it's funny how it looks so big, and then as you start building, in your brain, you already fill this whole thing up. But nonetheless, we are absolutely blessed to have this set up. So, next step, they're going to start setting up posts, I imagine, and getting this thing framed up. Well, the big moment, standing up sticks. You can see we talked it through and we got the spacing that I wanted in here. So these are much further apart. So now you can see we can fit cars. This one's a couple feet shorter just because of the overall length of the building. But from here to here, we should be able to slide cars both directions in and out of the building. So these are all anchored in right into the concrete and then legged in the posts. So yeah, we start to get an idea how tall this thing's going to be overall. So on this corner here, we should have a door here, and then we'll have a door back in that corner, so we can get in the building in the front, in and out the front, then one in and out the back as well, so we don't have to walk all the way around if we're going to get something on the other side. Or at least that's my thought and idea anyway. It's coming along. Once these posts are up, it's going to move really, really quick. They'll start stringing 2x4s across. And once they get that set in, then of course they'll drop the trusses in, and we'll start getting a building shape here. Well, got my first change order. This stuff you don't realize because I don't do this every day. When I change the posts out, so it's 21 feet in between each section, my 7 window package up top isn't going to work, because for it to be symmetrical now and framed in correctly, we'd either need to do 1 or 2 per space to make it easier for framing. So I got to add 2 more windows, which they're not a lot, honestly. It's a couple 2x4s in the window itself, and we're going with super cheap windows. They're like $80, I think, less than that. But nonetheless, got a change order up top. We'll have 4 windows on each side on the bottom, and walk through Barry, and nice guy, about the man doors, make sure we're on the same page. He's got to get a skid steer in there pretty soon to start setting lumber, and he asked if I could bring some more crush in here so we can get up onto the concrete. So I'm going to go see what I can get out of this pile over here. Do a little bit of redneck dirt work with the lawn tractor. See if we can help them out quick. Not a dirt work guy, especially with the lawn tractor, but that ought to work. I'm out of crush, so did what I could. That should help us get equipment in and out of here. They're standing up the far poles right now with this little attachment. It's pretty neat. Sling them on the skid steer, stand them up, and take a few measurements. Hopefully when we pull these nails, they don't pull a puck of concrete with them, but it's part of the process. We need the support, so it's coming along. Too bad it's so muddy. We just had some nasty storms roll through. Got a ton of rain, so it's just a mud fest out here. We got the beams going up. These guys here. It's a great idea to get these set up before it goes in the air, so when they set the trusses, they're just going to slap them up against that. It's all their spacing and structure in one. These are big boards. These are size 13s. Got some heft. So then this will be that'll be the height of the. So we have trusses coming across. Peak's gonna be up there. Plenty of room, put some shelving back here. Hide some more junk, you know what I mean? Good idea, thanks. This guy's walking the beam. Talented dudes, do this every day. If I was either one of these fellas, I'd already be down. It wouldn't be good. I noticed I've also got these notched. That's also a really good idea. Up and over, maybe. Rocking. We got another truck coming. We're short outside posts. They're on the way right now. Should be coming pretty soon. Thankfully, it's starting to dry up a little bit out here. I should have ordered more gravel. Someone dumped a bunch of topsoil and dirt over some of my stuff, and then the cement guys cleaned their trucks out on all this wasted gravel. I can't dig it up. It's just chunks of concrete. My little tractor won't pick it up. So I spread a little bit more around what I had, but thankfully it's drying up a little bit. It's going to be a muddy mess. Here's the outside wall. Beam supports, and then we'll have those other posts coming out here. This should be 9 foot 4 inches if I measured all this and planned this correctly. 9 foot 4 from the concrete to the bottom of the beam for the outside shed, or lean-to. I call them lean-tos, I guess. Well, good morning. Sun just came over the hill. Frosty this morning. It's about 27 degrees. Good news is all the mud is frozen. Guys are moving quick today. The trusses should be going up, it looks like. They got them all staged late last night, and they're putting the beams on the sides for the sides. I'll show you. So this is that space, be about 3 feet, where the center is going to be straight up. And then there's going to be windows, 1 by 4 foot windows for light. And then we'll have those stringers coming across over here. So it's not going to be this tall, you know, because we got to get our anglage. But we got 1 truss up in the back. By the end of the day, we should have our shape. There's the back wall. I'm going to like how square and clean it is in here. And then, like I say, there'll be glass for natural lighting all along here. We're going to take advantage of that as much as possible. Might be able to get some of these supports down pretty soon too. I don't know yet, but it's looking good. Pretty exciting stuff. Skid steer's down. We broke a fitting right there. That runs his boom. So we're gonna see if we can get this fixed. Get this hose off and run it into town. I think Napa still makes them, some of them. We'll try that. Otherwise, I know a rubber and hose place about an hour from here, hour and a half. But I told him I'd run and get that done for him. I don't want the soup to have to leave, so I try to stay out of their way, but if there's anything I can do to help, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna tear into the skid steer and get that off quick. Big updates. Got the skid steer line back on, the hydraulic line. And all these trusses went up. They went up so fast, I actually missed it. Popped that line in, walked away, blinked twice, bam! And they're in. And we got stringer on the side, so now we can actually see the shape. This is what I've been trying to explain. It was really hard because some of these have a there's this and then there's another angle. I don't know what they call them. Hip roof? I'm not sure. Look, I'm not an engine nerd, okay? But there's the actual shape and we can see the height. I think we got plenty of height on the side, which it's going to be the same on this side, of course. It's going to be symmetrical. So we'll have the 10 foot here, and then this line, you know, 9'6", should give us plenty of room. Looking good. It's going to feel taller than it really is, I think, once you're in here. I was a little bit nervous that it was going to feel cluttered because the other pole barn has the steel trusses that kind of have a bigger arch with a smaller thing. But these are similar shaped actually. So there's going to be a lot of height in here. And then basically the whole sides, 2 4-foot windows in each section. It should still give us a lot of light, kind of a open space feeling. But it's looking good. Wish there was smell-o-vision. Smells like fresh cut wood. Love that smell. Going quick. I guess one of their pancake air compressors went down on them. I got one over here that might work on their generator. They got one of the bigger Predator generators. We'll see if it'll run off it. I'm a hoarder, so I've kept this one. It runs on, you know, 120, 30 gallon, 5.3 CFM. This should be plenty for nail guns, and hopefully it's got a small enough motor on this thing that generator will run it. Guy's got her strappalized in. Hopefully it makes the trip. Yeah, that ain't going anywhere. Compressor is working. These guys are rocking the day, getting these outside posts up and getting all the wood in for tin up here, side. Lots of lumber. Leaving the back open right now just to get in and out basically, but they're moving. Well, we've got another change order, which, you know, that's how these projects go. But it's a good one. It's 4 more glass, which is going to give me more light. Here's why. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 spaces or slots down the sidewalls. Okay, they're 21 in the center, but they're closer on the outside. So there's 7 slots. I had pre-ordered 4 windows and 1 man door for each side. A man door on the southwest corner and a man door on the northeast corner, and then 4 windows. So I was able to do the math, figure everything out, and it was like 16 3/4 inches essentially center on one side with the door centered in a space. Problem is when you mirror that, you know, because the door would be back here, when I flip that to this side, the glass isn't going to be the same. So when you walk in, the windows would be offset all the way down. And I know that's minor and most people probably wouldn't care, but it's going to drive me nuts. And with how much we're investing into the business and the property, I'm going to be living here my whole life. So there's going to be lots of cold snacks drinking here, staring at these windows going, why didn't I do this or that? So the easiest thing to do is just to add 1, 2, 3, 2 more windows on each side. So 4 windows total. It's a little over $400 or something like that. I don't know. So then each section will have either a window centered or a door centered in it, essentially. So I'll kind of show you as if we're walking in what that would look like. Now they're starting to knock off some supports. Starting to look like a real life building in here. So we'd have a man door centered, and then see the green treated poles. So window, 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 centered on this side. And then, you know, we're going through the door. Now, I would look straight across, and I gotta shut my tractor off. There'd be a window centered in that one. Window, 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 door. I've always wanted, I should have done this on the old shop. I might still do it. I need a door to go out the back instead of walking all the way around. So with the door back in this corner, we can then sneak out, get under the lean-to here, or get behind the building much faster than going all the way out the front. This side will have a window, but essentially all this will be filled in with dirt right here, kind of a swell, and then the tin's going to come down to about here. But all this I could still put cars, hide stuff behind the building so it's not so ugly looking to my neighbors and stuff like that. I don't want to be that guy, and I am, but I try not to be, okay? Anyway, that's what we're doing. These guys were playing soccer on lunch. This is their goal, one of them. But it's coming along. They're working on the lean-to right now. And told we can get 10 up either end of this week or early next week. And I've got a bunch of drainage pipe coming. We're gonna put in some drains and some stuff in front here before we bury that with dirt to manage any water that does come around the building. Trying to put a lot of thought into this one, and that's why we did that concrete hip wall and everything as well. I just don't want to deal with that flooding. We lost so much, and it was a lot of work. I don't want to do that again. But things are coming along. It's a busy, busy morning. We've got contractors overlapping now because we're trying to get certain things done and taken care of. Got Pete here, he's my dirt guy, trying to address this situation, and I got trucks of fill coming in, and we got some crush run over on the other side. We're walking around looking at water, watershed, coming up with a plan of how we're going to do this. And the big concern is getting my old RV into the front. I want the front of this as level as possible, out as far as possible, so we can get my old RV in. You know, when I retire in 37 years, and I got the 86 Winnebago, I don't want to rip the AC units off and the satellite dish because they're coming up at an angle, but that leaves this big thing down here. And we intentionally built this huge kidney bean shaped swell with a drainage system for water control. Now we're running into that. So I don't want to undo everything that we worked hard and I paid a lot to do, but we're up again it. So now we got to figure this out. Crew's running away up there. They've almost got everything up. They'll be trimming up, cleaning here pretty soon. Should be tinning in a couple days. But right now we're going to focus on getting some of this dirt work done. Truck driver's name is Meathead. He's got a brand new rig. It's got like 80 miles on it. Some of that Tennessee dirt. That looks like screen material. It is. Pete will get in there now and make quick work of this. We're planning on 20 trucks right now, and then we're going to assess the situation. Ironically, dirt isn't getting cheaper, even though we're standing on it technically. Basically 2 loads gone just like that. Here's our window openings. Nice 3x5s. Gonna get a lot of light in here. These will be gridded, just like the old shop. But I like that. Almost glass, floor to ceiling. But they're getting those framed out. Here, there, 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 and the last one here. Well, as you can see, he's up, oh, I don't know, 4 feet at least since this morning. See, the complication comes into this drain right there. So he's going to try to make this look like a natural curve, but we want it flat enough to use the doors, obviously. And he's getting after it. don't know why, but I could probably watch dirt work all day. I think it's everyone's childhood. You know what I mean? You push Tonka trucks and tractors and all that stuff. Yeah, he's starting to put some shape into it now. Kind of follow this, I think. Just guessing. Took a break from the shop. Came out and started picking up a lot of the scrap wood laying around so Pete can do some dirt work up by the building. One of my neighbors heats his house with wood. It's an awful lot of money to go to waste. So I'm gonna load this old Ford down. This is the one from Power Tour, still running. And I'm gonna drive this over to his house and back it up by his wood burner there so he can heat the house this winter. This stuff should burn really hot. There's some big blocks in here, pressure treated stuff. Should get nice and hot. We should have a heaping pile by the time we get everything in here, so I don't want that to go to waste. We'll give it to him. Let Pete do his thing here. This is all stuff we can use as fill back here. He's got to build a swell there anyway. Hey, the metal package showed up. And we got some pressure treated OSB. Should have all the fixings here. And then we got some insulation, box of screws, stuff like that. And here's the plan. Well, I guess I could show you. Look, we got windows now. We still have to do one more. Wonder if they know that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're short a window. There's supposed to be one back there, but maybe not. That might look weird. I might end up with 2 extra windows. What do I do with those? I don't know. Okay, so anyway, speaking of, you can see it's about sundown. Anyway, we had to order these windows up, and we're a couple weeks out. I think I've mentioned that beforehand. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just tin the roofs, try to protect as much wood and stuff as we can. We don't know what the weather's going to do. I can even sneak some stuff in there and get it under shelter in the meantime. And then when they give me a heads up that the windows are coming in, we could set all the glass, and then we could start, we'll get another tin package basically for the exterior. And I got the doors. I drove down to Summertown yesterday super quick and got the overhead doors ordered. They're going to be a walnut metal. It's like a fake, super cheap, like it's a cheap, cheesy looking fake wood basically. But I did add glass to the top panes in there. And again, our goal is daylight all the way around. We should try to figure out these windows though. I'm a little bit concerned. Here we go. Insulation going up. Right now. Wow, I wonder if they're even going to start tinning today. I might have to go get these guys más cervezas. We'll walk out here, kind of give you an idea what it's going to look like with the roof on it. Oh, this is going to be so nice, guys. We can nose in a lot of vehicles. At least get the hoods or roofs or whatever under cover, or some of the little tractors, lawn equipment, you name it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 stalls. Down the side here. very excited. We couldn't really go much longer because it would affect our height, right? I didn't want to lose a lot of that. We can eventually someday, you know, we'll pour some crush in here or something, or maybe eventually do an apron. But for now, just getting, you know, if you can nose the bumper in up to here, you're getting the engine at least under cover, most of the roof. Decided to take some of this hill here. We need some fill anyway for back here. We've got some drain tile and stuff going under here as well. That's going to be daylighted off the ends. But we're going to take and smooth a lot of this out and roll that dirt in for fill. And then a guy could get trailers and cars back here easier as well. And we're going to take some of this hump out in this hill, make it a little more flat. Doesn't look like it, but it's got a pretty good incline on it. If you look at that trailer over there, you can kind of get the gist of it. Hopefully we can get down without hitting a bunch of rock. So far it looks pretty good. This is that area that I cleared out this last summer, the boys and I, and this was one of the reasons. There was where he's digging now was trees and brush. I don't know if you guys remember that, but this whole area was pretty well full. We couldn't even get to that fence right there, so. Here's a better view from up here. So we got to get all this filled in. All this crush is burying the pipe, the drain pipes in there. And this is working pretty good so far. That's probably equivalent to loading a half of dirt already. Use what we can around here, save a little bit. Got tin going up. So we're gonna do that same dark brown for the roof and then the ivory for the walls. But I am going to do the dark brown on the corner pieces, these this time, instead of ivory. I think that'll look nice. And then we'll have ivory window and door trim outs. And then I've got like a bronze style window. I think I mentioned that. These guys are cooking. They'll have the tin up today for sure. Back walls looking good. Boy, we've got some really good dirt over here. As compared to when we built the addition to the old shop, it was nothing but rock. But this stuff is great. We're gonna be able to pull off this whole backfill without having to haul any dirt in. And this is just, I'm so happy about that. What a huge savings and convenience for the dirt crew here, and not having to figure out how to get trucks back here, scoop it around from the front. This is just a blessing how this is all working out back here. It's nice when a plan comes together, because I don't do them a lot. This is looking really good. Got the side-by-side up here just so you can kind of see, but this is now usable space. We can bring the trailers up in here. We've got a couple different flatbeds. We've got the cargo trailer. We can put some cars back here. Lots of room. The best part is all this dirt was free. We just pulled it out of the hillside here. So a lot of this equipment is going to go under the lean-to over here. I got updates. We got a little bit of tin on here. I was out of town working on some old stuff, you know, and they surprised me. They actually said, well, let's go ahead and tin what we can. I know we're still waiting on windows and doors, but let's get something up. And it's looking pretty good. I was just expecting the roof, but we've got a front and back. Check this out. So here's our colors. Of course, it's the same as the other building, but I decided to do the dark brown around the doors and stuff here, and I think that looks a lot better. And then we're gonna have a brick veneer on the front here, breaker block. We did block on the other side, or on the other building. But it looks really nice. They got the soffits in all the way down and the backside. So now we can kind of go in here and get a feeling what the building would actually look like. Of course, again, door, all that. These braces will come down pretty soon. I'm gonna go get the leaf blower, blow this thing out a little bit, make sure I don't pick up any nails, and we'll move one or two of the tractors over. And we can start parking equipment in here until they give me the call and say, hey, we got windows and stuff like that. Then we'll pull them back out and they can get after it. Well, I was presently surprised at the lack of nails and stuff like that. I picked up a handful, but wasn't as bad as I thought. Got one laying here. A couple racks here and there off to the side. I'm not worried about those. We'll just bring the tractor straight down the middle. And maybe the old farm truck and stuff like that for now. I should go get, I used to have one, but the wheels done broke off. One of those roller big magnet things. Screw. It's a little bit messier out here, but I don't think they've cleaned out here yet. A lot of lumber left over. Sure hope I can use this somehow. I should make a stack somewhere and tarp it up or something, maybe over by the horses or something. Try to keep that stuff dry. All right, first piece is in. Now we got to go get the old Ford, the old Mini, the old Alice, and we'll scoot them in here. Basically just the stuff that runs right now because we have to pull everything out. And when we get done, then we'll start moving all the pieces of equipment around the side and all that stuff. Just got this fork attachment for this unit here for a couple different reasons. One, I can't use the old forklift off of anything but the concrete. And we fork a lot of things on pallets around here, especially down at the road and stuff like that too. But also, I need to move massive tires. Tires that are almost as tall as me, and that'll be coming soon to Vice Grip Garage. And we needed those forks to pull that off. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. But that's gonna do it for this progress episode of the barn build. Stay tuned, there's obviously still a lot to do. I'll get you guys involved when we get the doors and windows and all that stuff, get this thing buttoned up for good. We might even show moving some of the stuff back here. Not sure if I'm going to have gravel brought in now or just tough it out. I'll have to start calling around and see what the price is on that stuff a yard and come up with a game plan, I guess, for this stuff. But thanks guys, appreciate you very much. We'll see you soon.